What's up, Boo Crew? Welcome back to the Haunted Estate, where we discuss the spookiest, weirdest, and downright creepiest stories from around the world. I'm your host, Lena Myers, and boy, do I have a treat for you guys.
What was
today.
that when you did this? You were grabbing things?
Grabbing ghost boobs.
Ooh. Hi, guys. I'm Adam. Welcome.
Welcome. Now let's get into it. Now picture this. You're chilling at home, maybe scrolling through TikTok or whatever, when suddenly your cat starts speaking perfect English.
Nope.
Not just meowing, but full-on Shakespeare-level soliloquies. Soliloquies.
Sir Willikes.
No, soliloquies.
Somebody translate.
Soliloquies.
Somebody translate
No, I
that
got
word. I need a thesaurus.
I had to work through it.
I need a thesaurus.
Freaky, right? Well, guys, buckle up, Buttercup, because today we are diving into the world of possessed animals and haunted creatures. We're talking about furry little critters with a supernatural twist, ghostly beasts that'll make your blood run cold, and some seriously messed up animal shenanigans that'll have you side-eyeing your pet hamster for weeks. Now, trust me, after this episode, you will never look at your goldfish the same way again.
I side-eye the dogs sometimes. Eddie's eyes are haunted.
Oh, he's a skinwalker.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a dog named Eddie. Skinwalker. He's a skinwalking boy. He's not real. That is a fursuit. It's evil.
He's so Jekyll and Hyde, though. He's so cute and so loving. And then
He will look at you like, oh my god, love me. And then in the next second be like,
You're a demon, go away! Crazy.
But before we get into all that craziness, let me remind you to smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and ring that notification bell. You do not want to miss out on our weekly dose of paranormal madness.
Oh my gosh, I think Halloween merch is still hanging around, too.
Are you serious?
We have
Guys!
Haunted Estate merch, Haunted Estate hoodies. We got joggers, Boo Crew joggers.
Just stay spooky. Man, I love these. We have the joggers. We have everything right now. Should we put them on sale?
They are.
They are on sale! And hey, drop a comment below with your own spooky animal encounters. I honestly read every single one, and who knows, maybe your story will end up in a future episode. All right, guys, let's kick things off with a tale so bizarre, so utterly bonkers, that it makes those "my dog ate my homework" excuses look downright believable. I'm talking about none other than Jeff the Talking Mongoose. Yeah, you heard that right. And not only any talking mongoose, but one that claimed to be an earthbound spirit and from the fifth dimension. So picture it. It is 1931 and we are in the Isle of Man. No, not the Isle of Men. Although it does sound like it could be a fun vacation spot, ladies. We are talking about a tiny island smack dab in the middle of the Irish Sea. Now, on this island, there is a remote farmhouse called the Dorlish Cashin. This farmhouse is the home to the Irving family. James, the dad, Margaret, the mom, and their 13-year-old daughter, Voiry? Is that right?
I think so.
I think so. They are just your average run-of-the-mill farming family, living their best life in the literal middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Hook me up with that life.
That is like the perfect start to a horror story, though.
Right.
Yeah. Little did they know their lives were about to take a turn for the seriously weird. All of a sudden, one September day, the Irvings began hearing strange noises from behind their farmhouse walls. Talking in the walls, real fun. Yep.
Oh, I love that. Hello.
Sorry.
Oh, malfunction.
Now,
what's in your walls?
What's in your wall? Nothing good. Mold. Moisture. Ugh. Now, I don't know about you, but if I heard weird scratching and rustling in my walls, I would be calling an exterminator faster than you can say rat infestation. But not the Irvings. No. They decided to wait it out. Okay, it sounds like a problem that will only grow. What was it? Did you hear that? Did you hear banging thing? I heard something in the literal walls. Did you hit that?
I heard knocking in the walls. I didn't hit anything.
Becca, replay.
Becca, replay that sound.
Okay, it sounds like a problem that will only grow. Okay, it sounds like a... That's weird. At first, they heard barking sounds and spitting sounds, like some kind of wild animal had taken up residence in their walls. But then things got real freaky real fast. One day, this little yellow mongoose pops out. I need to know what a mongoose is.
I had a mongoose BMX bike back in the day.
So did I. That's such a Canadian thing. Hey, wait one sec, I need some fuel. I know we're getting deep, but so am I. Getting deep into this Factor meal. I want you guys to eat stress-free for the fall and beyond with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meal. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Factor takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success. Skip the grocery stores, the prep work, the cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered straight to your front door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, there are popular options like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, and Vegan, and Veggie. Also discover more than 60 add-ons every week, like breakfast, on-the-go lunch, snacks, beverages, things to help you stay fueled and feel good all day. What are you waiting for? I live my life with wild ADHD, and Factor has helped me so much with meal planning, helping me feed my wacky brain with good food, not that fast food. This is fast food, but it's not bad fast food. This is good fast food. Yeah! Right here, I am enjoying a yummy plate of garlic chicken, and it has noodles. Cutting down on my time planning and cooking has given me more time to do the things that I love without feeling guilty. I just pop my meal in the microwave, and in 2 minutes, I'm ready to eat it. I'm gonna be honest, not having to go to the grocery store has been a really nice treat. I don't have to bump into that girl from high school that I don't like. Yay! I want you guys to get the same yummy nutrition as me and head over to factor75.com or click the link below and use my code SPOOKYBOO50 to get 50% off of your first Factor box and 20% off your next month's orders. That's SPOOKYBOO50 at factor75.com to get 50% off of your first box plus 20% off of your next month of orders. Yeah! Who doesn't want a deal that good? Now, thank you so much for sponsoring the show, Factor. Let's get back into it. Well, in a minute, I'm gonna... Oh my gosh, it's almost like that little... That is a mongoose!
Yeah? You have a literal mongoose behind you?
A mongoose!
That's a weasel, that one, isn't it?
But they must be from the same
Yeah,
thing.
it's like different areas of the world,
They're like-
same thing, kind of.
They're like fourth cousins removed.
Yes.
Fourth cousins removed. Oh god, shit's about... Shit's about to get weird. One day, a little yellow mongoose pops out, looks at the family, and starts talking. Yes, you heard that right. A talking mongoose. Now, I know what you're thinking. Selena, come on. A talking mongoose? That's crazy talk. And you're absolutely right. It is crazy talk. But that's exactly what the Irving family claimed had happened. This wasn't just some mongoose squeaking or making animal noises. No, this furry little dude was allegedly speaking perfect English. This is not scary. This is exciting now.
Yes, I want one of these mongooses.
I would keep in mind name him Charlie.
Charlie and
Charlie.
the Mongoose Chocolate Factory.
And he would bite my finger.
Ooh.
Oh no, Charlie. So, what did this linguistic genius of a mongoose have to say? Well, according to the Irvings, he introduced himself as a mongoose from India. Apparently, he had been hunted a lot back home, and fearing for his life, he somehow managed to teleport all the way to the Isle of Man, because that is totally a thing that mongooses can do, right?
Where is this going? We got teleportation? Is telekinesis next?
Talking mongoose that teleports.
All right.
Cool. All
I
right.
need some scientific data on this one.
Here's the best part. The family decided to call him Jeff.
With a G. Is
Jeff.
that a thing? Is that a thing in Europe? Please let us know, Europeans.
My name's Jeff.
Jeff with a G.
My name's Jeff. Okay, so Jeff, which is a weird name for a mongoose, if you ask me. But hey, who am I to judge? If a talking mongoose shows up in my house, he can call himself whatever the fuck he wants. I'd probably be too busy freaking out to argue about names. Now, Jeff was not your average house guest. Oh no, this little fella had a personality bigger than the tiny mongoose body could contain. He popped in and out of the walls shouting one-liners and dropping wisdom bombs like he was some kind of furry fortune cookie.
No.
Dude.
Imagine you just like take all your life advice from Jeff.
And
like
then-
you just base your
Dude.
life around Jeff. Like, Jeff, today, what do I have to do today?
And he's
And
like-
Jeff gives you some quest.
Yeah.
He's like, you're going to learn so much from this quest. Your soul is just going to achieve so much in this life.
That would be so
Like,
weird.
You must
And you know what's crazy?
go.
This happened in the 30s. So, like, think of, like, the telephone game and what that would be like now. I'd be like, yeah, you're crazy. Aunt Edith had a talking mongoose.
So if you were Jeff, what kind of quest, a simple, quick side quest,
Yes.
would you give your owner?
Snacks.
Snacks? What
I
kind
was
of
a mongoose,
snacks in
that's all
the
I was
30s?
Mealworms. It's a mongoose. I don't know.
Okay, if you were Jeff, what fortune would you give?
You are the light of most people's lives. In bed. Does you have to
Oh,
say in
you'd
bed
say
at the
in
end?
bed, yeah.
Yeah. All right. One of his favorite phrases was, I am an earthbound spirit. Which, let's be real, is a pretty deep thing for a mongoose to say. I mean, most of us humans are trying to figure out our place in the universe, and here's this mongoose casually declaring his spiritual status. His spiritual status, like it's no big deal. But wait, it gets better. Jeff also liked to proclaim, I am the fifth dimension. This is getting too deep. Adam would be up this mongoose's ass.
Dude, this mongoose is hanging out in the fifth dimension. That means
It's
this
making
mongoose can see the past and the future.
I can see all the
You
things.
can see all the things. That's why he has so much wisdom.
I love it.
There's no timeline and there's no time.
No time.
In the fifth dimension.
No
it just
time.
is everything.
Everything.
Time is a construct of the Earth moving around the sun.
Every
Every planet and solar system.
Do your
has its own
friends ever
concept
have
of
a
time. The fifth
conversation
dimension does
and you
not.
just
Everything
nod
has an
along
instant
even though you're not
and will be.
really sure what they're talking about?
Jeff's fucking deep, bro.
Now, I barely understand the third dimension that we live in, so thank you, Adam, for your explanation there. I still don't understand the fifth, though. So, yeah. Jeff wasn't always Mr. Nice Guy, though. Sometimes he'd get a bit sassy, swearing up a storm and throwing things around the house. It's like having a teenage poltergeist, but in mongoose form. I see the movie now!
Yes.
Mongoose. Like poltergeist. Can you imagine trying to have a quiet family dinner and then suddenly a disembodied voice starts cursing from inside the walls? Talk about awkward. But it wasn't all bad. Apparently Jeff could be helpful when he wanted to be. He'd hunt rabbits for the family's dinner, which was pretty considerate for a supernatural entity.
That is so handy in the 1930s.
Yep. The Depression.
You have to find food, right?
Yeah,
And you're
I
on
mean,
an island too.
They're
so-
gonna put up with his sass for that meat.
Absolutely.
Guys, I mean, when is the last time that your friendly neighborhood ghost brought you a takeout? And get this, Jeff even liked to sing. Yeah, you heard that right. A singing, talking, rabbit hunting mongoose. It's like Disney meets The Exorcist with a dash of National Geographic thrown in for good measure.
So this mongoose is like the one and only all being of everything. That
And he
the
came to
human
us in
needs.
mongoose form.
He's got your wisdom. He's got your mood swings.
Yeah.
He's got your food delivery service.
I just wish they had phones back then to tape all this.
Right?
Now, as you can probably guess, news of a talking mongoose spread faster than gossip at a small town bingo night. Before long, the Irving's farmhouse was the talk of the paranormal community. Psychic researchers and tabloid journalists flocked to the Isle of Man, all hoping to get a glimpse, or better yet, an interview with the chatty little critter. The Irvings, bless their hearts, tried their best to provide evidence of Jeff's existence. They released photos that they claimed were of the mongoose, although, to be honest, they looked more like blurry shots of a hairy sausage than a supernatural entity. But hey, it was the 1930s. What can we expect? Interestingly enough, it wasn't just the Irvings who claimed to have heard Jeff speak. Other visitors in the farmhouse reported hearing strange voices and unexplained noises. Now, whether these people were experiencing genuine paranormal activity or just really wanted to be a part of the excitement is up for debate. I mean, if I traveled all the way to a remote farm to hear a talking mongoose, you bet I'd convince myself that every creak and every whisper was a message from the beyond. But all the investigators who came to the Dorlish Cashin, none were more famous or more skeptical than the famous Harry Price. Now, if you're not familiar with Harry Price, think of him as the 1930s versions of those ghost hunters you see on TV, but with more tweed and less night vision goggles. Price was a well-known psychic researcher, and he had been corresponding with James Irving for quite some time. James was practically begging Price to come investigate, probably hoping that with his seal of approval from a big-shot paranormal investigator, that this would all validate their extraordinary claims. Finally, in 1935, Price decided to take the plunge and visit the Irving's farm. But when police arrived at the farm, things did not go as planned. For starters, Jeff was nowhere to be seen. Apparently, the mongoose was not in the talking mood, which, to be honest, is a pretty convenient excuse. Price got the grand tour of the farmhouse, seeing all of Jeff's unusual haunts. But despite his best efforts, he never actually saw or heard the mongoose for himself. Now, I'm not saying Jeff was camera shy, but for a mongoose who supposedly loved to chat, he sure clammed up when a professional investigator came knocking. In his book, Confessions of a Ghost Hunter, Price wrote about his experiences at the farmhouse, and he could not determine whether or not the role of the investigation that we had taken a part in was farce or tragedy, which is a fancy way of saying, I have no clue what the heck is going on here, but something smells fishy.
What do you think's going on
Yeah,
here?
do you think that the mongoose is real?
I think that we have some storytellers.
I
think-
want to believe.
These I know you.
I want to believe so bad.
I'm the skeptic. You're the fantasy guru.
I think that they did mushrooms.
Yeah.
They partook.
Very possible.
And then they thought that a mongoose was talking. Or they are, like, secluded in the middle of a farm in the middle of nowhere. Did their delusions get to them? Were they alone for too long?
Or they're like super psychically connected and they're the ones that are in the fifth dimension and they just think it's Jeff.
Maybe they live in a portal.
Yeah.
I need the cussing, singing, rabbit hunting, mongoose fortune cookie to be real, and I will take nothing less. Nothing less!
All right, let's go on the hunt for a mongoose.
All right. Was Jeff a genuine paranormal phenomenon, a hoax that perplexed the family, or maybe just a very vivid shared hallucination brought on by too much goat cheese before bedtime? If anyone knows what cheese does to you before bedtime, it's me, baby. First up, we got the It's All Real camp. These folks believe that Jeff was exactly what the Irvings claimed, a talking mongoose with supernatural abilities. Now, I am all for keeping an open mind, but come on. A mongoose that can not only talk, but also has claims to be in the fifth dimension, that's a stretch. But how do they know about the fifth dimension in the 30s? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm lost and I'm liking it. Even for my paranormal loving brain, when we got the skeptics to think that it was all elaborate hoax, some people pointed fingers at Voyery, the 13-year-old daughter, suggesting that she might have been practicing her ventriloquism skills. Smart.
Ooh, it was a stuffed goose.
Stuffed goose.
A mongoose.
Just throwing her voice. Others thought it may have been a family-wide effort to drum up some excitement in their otherwise dull rural life.
Yep, that's my belief. That's
There you
where
go.
Adam stands.
That's Adam's
They're
jam.
probably just super bored, like, creative writers.
Yeah, when you're out there, I mean, you have time. You have
Yes.
time to come up with things.
Yes, and you're going to get very bored if you don't come up with something like this.
And honestly, can you blame them? But here's where it gets interesting. Harry Price, despite his skepticism, couldn't quite figure out the family's motive. In a letter he wrote in 1936, he said, "I agree that the whole family must be mixed up, and that there still remains the question of motive. It certainly is not to draw people to the Cashin's Gap, because they do their utmost to keep them away. The motive for the imposture lies much deeper than mere publicity." And you know what? He's got a point. If the Irvings were just looking for attention, why did they make it so darn difficult for people to actually witness Jeff in action? It's like opening a restaurant and then hiding all the food whenever a customer walks in. It just doesn't make sense. So, what are we left with? A genuine paranormal phenomenon or an elaborate family hoax? Or something in between. Personally, I think the truth probably lies somewhere in the murky middle. Maybe the Irvings experienced some genuinely weird stuff in their farmhouse, strange noises, unexplained events, and some sort of thing. And maybe then perhaps their imagination ran wild, turning those experiences into the legend of Jeff the Talking Mongoose. Or maybe, just maybe, there really was a mongoose with a gift for the gab hanging out in their walls. Hey, stranger things have happened, right? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is for sure. The story of Jeff the Talking Mongoose has stood the test of time. Nearly a century later, and we are still talking about this chatty little critter. And isn't that the real magic of paranormal stories? They stick with us, make us wonder, and sometimes make us laugh at the sheer absurdity of it all. So the next time you hear a strange noise in your walls, who knows? Maybe it's a leaky pipe, or maybe it's a mongoose from the fifth dimension looking to strike up a conversation. Either way, maybe think twice before calling the exterminator. You might be evicting the next paranormal superstar.
Okay, Jeff.
Okay, Jeff.
If you're out there in the fifth dimension still, please come to me in one of the local chipmunks or raccoons.
Visit me. Visit me. Visit me. Bring your alien friends.
Maybe stay out of the walls.
You can probe me.
Maybe just show up at the back door once in a while, the
Yeah.
screen door.
Now let's shift gears from our chatty mongoose friend to something a little more, shall we say, terrifying. Buckle up, folks, because we are about to meet the legend of the Black Shuck. What? These are the weirdest names. Now let me tell you, this ain't no Scooby-Doo mystery. This is the kind of story that will have you sleeping with all the lights on for a week. So you're strolling through the English countryside on a foggy night. The moon is full, casting an eerie glow over the moors. Suddenly, you hear a low growl. You turn, and there, emerging from the mist, is a massive black dog with eyes like burning coals. Congratulations. You just met the Black Shuck. Hope you brought an extra pair of panties. The Black Shuck, my friends, is the stuff of literal nightmares. This spectral hound has been terrorizing good people of the East Anglia for centuries. And when I say hound, I don't mean some cute little Pomeranian you can stuff in your purse. No, we are talking about a beast the size of a small horse. It is like someone took Clifford the big red dog, painted him black, and gave him a serious attitude problem, and then turned him into a ghost. Now, you might be thinking, Selena, come on, a giant ghost dog? That's ridiculous. And you know what? You're absolutely right. And it is absolutely ridiculous. But let's go a little bit deeper into the origins of our spooky canine friend, shall we? The name Black Shuck, super weird, is thought to come from the Old English word skooka, meaning demon, or possibly from the local dialect, the word shucky, meaning shaggy or hairy. So basically, we are dealing with a shaggy demon dog. Great, yeah.
Nightmare. You okay?
I'm never okay. As if regular demons were not bad enough, now we got ones who shed all over your furniture. The description of the Black Shuck varies depending on whom you ask, but there is a few common themes. First off, he's big. Like, makes a Great Dane look like a Chihuahua big. And we're talking about anywhere from the size of a calf to a horse. Next up, we got the eyes. Now, most accounts describe the Black Shuck as having glowing red eyes. Some say they're like burning coals, others say blazing fires. Either way, it's not the kind of look that you want to see peering at you in the darkness. And let's not forget the fur. Black as night, they say. So black that it seems to absorb the light around it. But here's where it gets really freaky. Some accounts say that the Black Shuck is headless, so that's weird.
That's not fun. I like my dogs with a head.
Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds pretty scary, but surely this is just some old folktale, right? Nothing actually to be worried about. Well, buckle up, because here we're about to take a trip back to 1577 with a little incident that puts our spectral pooch firmly and absolutely terrifying category. It was a dark and stormy night on August 4th, 1577, in Bungay, Suffolk. The good people of Bungay. Bungay.
Sounds like something you rub on your elbow to stop tendinitis.
Yep. The good people of Bungay, the God-fearing folk they were, decided the best course of action was to hole up in a St. Mary's church and pray for deliverance. So there they were, the townsfolk of Bungay, probably singing hymns and trying not to think about how much the stained glass windows rattled with each thunderclap. And then, as if things weren't dramatic enough, a bolt of lightning struck the church. In all that instant, the witnesses claimed they saw a massive black dog, and it appeared at the entrance of the church. In the face of this horse-sized hellhound, the townfolk stood their ground, which in hindsight may not have been the best idea, because what happened next is the stuff of pure nightmare fuel. The Black Shuck, not content with just making a dramatic entrance, decided to go on a rampage, as an old verse describes it like this. All down the church in midst of fire, the hellish monster flew, and passing onward to the choir, he many people slew. The beast reportedly tore through the church, ripping out the throats and generally causing a kind of mayhem that you'd expect from a demonic dog the size of a horse. But wait, there's more. Because the one church apparently was not enough for our canine friend. After thoroughly traumatizing the good people of Bungay, the Black Shuck decided to take his terror show on the road. It vanished from St. Mary's, only to reappear 12 miles away at Holy Trinity Church by Blithburgh. At Holy Trinity, the Black Shuck picked up right where it left off, wreaking havoc and scaring the ever-loving shit out of another congregation. You might say that this sounds like something straight out of a horror movie. Surely there's no actual evidence of this happening, right? Well, hold on to your sage bundles, ghost hunters, because this is where it gets interesting. Church records from St. Mary's and Bungay do indeed confirm that there was a terrible storm on that date in 1577. And here's the kicker. 2 people were found dead in the belfry. The records don't specify how they died, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it probably wasn't from natural causes, unless mauled by a spectral hound counts as natural in the 16th century England. At Holy Trinity Church in Blithburgh, you can still see the scorch marks on the door to this day. Legend has it that these are the claw marks left by the Black Shuck as it fled the church. Whether or not the Black Shuck actually existed or exists, the impact of this legend on local culture is very real. For centuries, people in East Anglia have reported sightings of the spectral hound. It's become a part of the local folklore, as ingrained in its culture as fish and chips or complaining about the weather. The Black Shuck has been spotted in graveyards, on lonely roads, near bodies of water. Basically, any place creepy enough to give you goosebumps. Now, this is funny. I see so many videos And it's funny because it's black men that post it about white women and how white women will go out and tame any animal to save it. And like my gut is like, oh, it's always on lonely roads and it's by water and I need to go and I need to save it because I'm a crazy white woman. Adam, book it. Basically, you can find it any place that's creepy enough to give you goosebumps. But the black shuck isn't always seen as a harbinger of doom. In some stories, it's actually considered to be a protector. There are tales of the black shuck accompanying lone travelers on their dark nights, keeping them safe from harm. In other stories, the black shuck is seen as an omen of death. If you see the hound, legend has it that you or someone close to you will die soon. Is the black shuck real? Is it all a bunch of superstitious nonsense? Or is there something more to the sightings? Well, as with most things in the paranormal world, there is no easy answer. But there are plenty of theories. And boy, are they fun to dive into. First up, we got the psychological explanation. Some experts suggest that sightings of the black shuck might be the result of sleep paralysis. The idea that is people experiencing sleep paralysis might hallucinate a large dark figure, which their mind interprets as a giant black dog. Another theory suggests the black shuck might be a cultural memory of some long extinct large predator. Maybe there used to be a wolf-like creature roaming East Angela, and over time the stories of these animals got exaggerated and mixed with supernatural elements. It's like a game of prehistoric telephone, where Big Wolf somehow became Ghost Dog, the size of a horse with flaming eyes. Then there's the idea that the black shuck may be tied to ley lines. For those of you who don't spend your weekends dowsing, ley lines, they are supposed to be invisible lines of energy crossing the earth. Some folks believe that supernatural entities are drawn to these lines. So maybe the black shuck's just a spectral puppy following these cosmic highways. All jokes aside, though, the enduring legend of the black shuck tells us something important about human nature and our relationship with the unknown. We have been telling stories about mysterious creatures for as long as we have been able to talk. From the monsters in the ancient myths to modern-day urban legends, there is something in us that loves a good scare. Maybe it's our way of making sense of a world that's often so chaotic and unpredictable. Maybe it's how we process our fears, giving them shape and form so we can face them. Or maybe we just really like spooky stories. Whatever the reason, legends like the black shuck serve an important purpose in our culture. They connect us to the past, the people who walked the same lands hundreds of years ago and saw shadows moving through the mist. They give us a shared experience and common ground. So whether you believe in the black shuck or not, whether you think it's real or supernatural entity, or just a cool story to tell around the campfire, there is no denying its impact on the culture of East Angela and beyond. It's a reminder that the world is still full of mystery and that there are still shadows that we don't fully understand. And that sometimes is the best response to the unknown. It's just simply to tell a really good story about it. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Have you had an encounter with a supernatural animal? Maybe a ghost cat that keeps knocking things off your shelves from the great beyond? Or a spectral fish that does backflips in your toilet bowl? Drop your stories in the comments below, and until next time, keep your eyes peeled for talking animals, your ears open for a ghostly bark, and save the ghost pets and feed them and find them new homes.
Woof!
Adam!
Did you hear that?
Get the leash!
You have a lot of boyfriends. We need to have a talk.
Bye!
You forgot one.
Oh, where is it?
This
You asked. Oh. I'm gonna pass out. Bye.
Oh, cross country skiing. No, that was just downhill skiing.
We're going downhill skiing.
Oh, I hope not.